So this is probably going to be a slightly shorter slide. We're talking about disaccharides, and you make a disaccharide by joining together two monosaccharides. Another name for monosaccharide is also simple sugar, and a disaccharide refers to a double sugar. Generally speaking, you can say that a monosaccharide is a monomer, and what you make by joining two monomers, you make a dimer. So, and over here, I'm just gonna fill in the table over here, and you just have to know the name of a couple of these monosaccharides and the name of the disaccharides. So, for example, over here, this is glucose. If I join two glucose molecules together, I make a disaccharide, and the name of this disaccharide is known as maltose, or malt sugar. It's supposed to be an maltose. And what else do you make in the process? When you join two substances together, you make water molecule. It's a condensation reaction, of course. Okay. So another example is glucose. And if you join glucose and another monosaccharide known as galactose, you make the disaccharide lactose plus H2O. And lactose is also known as milk sugar. And you find it in milk, and maltose you can also know as malt sugar. Okay, there are certain candies that contain maltose. It gives it its characteristic taste. Yeah, and you see, the point is milk sugar, lactose does not really taste sweet, okay? So you got to get away a little bit from the idea that all sugars taste sweet, because they don't. Because in biology and in chemistry, a sugar is defined differently. It's defined chemically, and not not how it tastes. So how many sugars are there actually? Well, hundreds, thousands. Some are even poisonous, probably. Okay, so that is many possibilities. Over here, glucose. And if you join up with fructose, which is a fruit sugar, you make the sugar, the disaccharide called sucrose, plus H2O. No need to see this anymore. And sucrose, that's a standard table sugar. That's the stuff that we put into our tea and our coffee. And why do we use this one? Because it tastes very sweet, of course. Now, just some interesting side information. If you fructose is fruit sugar, and it can be found in a lot of fruits. And it's okay, and it's fine. But if it's taken in by eating sucrose, then it's not really good, because then it's actually directly converted to fat by the liver. So fructose, there has been the controversy, is fructose not good or bad? Well, actually, it is an important component of fruits, and apples contain a lot of fructose, but nobody would actually say that an apple is bad for you. But if you eat fructose by eating a lot of sugar, or by drinking a lot of soda pops, which contain a lot of sugar, or cakes and so on, then basically it's a health issue. Okay, so that's why they say you got to reduce sugar. And I just say, yeah, of course, reduce sugar, but only the sugar that you added. But the sugar which can be found in fruits directly, is digested differently, and therefore it's not as problematic, or as a matter of fact, even beneficial, compared to the pure sugar that you eat. So it's not only a question of what you have in your food, but also in what form is it? Is it basically in a natural form, so to say, or is it basically in a pure artificially created form? Even though chemically it's the same, but it's digested differently, and therefore it has a different effect on the body. Okay, so that is basically almost it, because the other question that you have is I don't know, I don't eat glucose normally, do I? Well, every time when you eat starch, we eat glucose, because during the digestive process, the starch is broken down into glucose. And so basically the stuff that I've shown you over here on this foil is basically, that's where we get our energy from. That's our fuel, because we're eating glucose, we're eating maltose, as also lactose and sucrose, and that's basically our energy source. So that is basically, you have to know the disaccharides, the names of these disaccharides, and you also have to know the examples of the monosaccharides that make them up.